Hi guys, it's Freya again, and today my brother is reading The Emperor's New Clothes, and my mom just got me a new Barbie dolls, and I really like her clothes.
1. The Emperor's New Clothes. Once there was an emperor who loved to dress up in fine clothes. He cared more about clothes than anything else in the world. The emperor had a different robe for every hour of the day. These robes filled one whole floor of his palace, but he still wanted more. One day, 2 weavers came to see the emperor. They said they could weave a wonderful cloth. It's not only beautiful, they said, but it's also magic. Magic? Cried the emperor. Yes, said the weavers. Only a wise man can see it. Fools cannot. Thought the emperor. If I had a robe made of cloth, I could quickly find out which of my people are fools. So he told the weavers, start work at once. The emperor let the weavers work on the royal loom. He gave him the best silk thread, and the best gold thread. But the weavers did not use the thread to weave the cloth. Instead, they put it into their bags, and the loom stayed empty. They sat and did nothing, for they were not weavers at all. They were planning to trick the emperor. After a few days, the emperor began to wonder about the cloth, so he sent his prime minister to look at it. The prime minister went into the room where the weavers were pretending to work. He looked at the empty loom. Dear me, he thought, I can't see the cloth. Does this mean I'm a fool? If so, I must not let anyone know. The weavers said to the prime minister, see how beautiful this cloth is? Oh yes, said the prime minister. Such fine work, and so many colors. But the prime minister really did not see a thing, for there was nothing on the loom to see. The prime minister went back to the emperor. The cloth is beautiful, he said. It's the finest cloth I've ever seen. The emperor was very pleased. After a few more days, the emperor sent his general to see the cloth. The general went into the room where the weavers were pretending to work. He looked at the empty loom. Dear me, he thought, I can't see the cloth. Does this mean I'm a fool? If so, I must not let anyone know. He went back to the emperor and said, the cloth is beautiful. It's the finest cloth I've ever seen. The emperor was pleased. I'll have to see that wonderful cloth for myself, he said. The emperor went to the room where the weavers were pretending to work. He took his prime minister and general with him. Isn't the cloth beautiful? Said the prime minister. Look at all the colors, said the general. But they were just pretending to see the cloth. The emperor looked and looked at the loom. I can't see the cloth, he thought. Does this mean I'm a fool? If so, I must not let anyone know. So he said, the cloth is beautiful than any I have ever seen. You must make me clothes at once. I will wear them to the next parade. Very good, your royal highnesses, said one of the weavers. Let us measure you. The emperor took off his robe. The weavers took their measuring tapes. 32 inches here, said the one weaver. 17 inches there, said the other weaver. Then the weavers pretended to take the cloth off the loom. Your Royal Highness, said the first weaver, would you like the cloth to hang this way? Oh yes, said the emperor, that's fine. Your Royal Highness, said the other, do you like the robe this short? Make it a little longer. Yes, that's perfect. The emperor was so pleased he gave the weavers 20 bags of gold. If I like the finished clothes, he said, I will give you 20 more bags of gold. The weavers smiled. Now the weavers pretended to work harder than ever. They stayed up all night, cutting and sewing. Finally, they said, the emperor's new clothes are ready. On the day of the parade, the weavers came to the emperor's room. They held out empty arms. Here are your new clothes, they said, but they are light as air. Beautiful, cried the emperor. He gave the weavers 20 more bags of gold. Then the emperor took off his old clothes. The weavers pretended to dress him in the new ones. Your Royal Highness, said one weaver. "What do you think of the sleeves?" "They are wonderful," said the emperor. "Is it too tight around the waist?" asked the other weaver. "Oh no," said the emperor. "It feels fine." He walked back and forth in front of the mirror. "Yes," he said, "the clothes are a perfect fit." But the emperor really had nothing except his underwear. The emperor's men bent down and pretended to lift his train. They held their hands high, carrying a train that was not there. And so the parade began. Crowds of people came to watch the parade. They all wanted to see the emperor's new clothes. "People say the clothes are magic," said one man. "People say the fools cannot see the clothes," said another woman. Everybody was wondering, will I be able to see them? At last, the emperor marched out of the palace. All the people cried, "Oh, how beautiful the emperor's new clothes are! What pretty colors! What a perfect fit!" But of course, no one could see any of the clothes. Then a little girl shouted, "But he hasn't got any clothes on!" "Did you hear that?" someone asked. "The child says he has no clothes on." "She's right. The emperor is in his underwear." "The emperor has no clothes." The people began to shout, "He's wearing underwear." Poor emperor heard them and suddenly knew that they were right. He was a fool. He had been tricked. But there was nothing he could do now. He kept on marching. By the time he was thinking, just wait until I get my hands on those weavers. But it was too late. The weavers had already run off with the 40 bags of gold. They were no fools. That was the emperor's new clothes.